health app is a piece of software that is accessible on a tablet or smartphone or online on a desktop or a laptop that we use for perceived health benefits to patients or consumers. The whole health app sort of area can be quite overwhelming. There are about 300,000 health apps alone in app stores. If you think about what patients and consumers are seeing, they're getting exposed to these health apps and often then coming to the GP and saying, I'm using this, can I share the information with you, or what one do you recommend, or these are ones that other people have told me to use, what's your opinion? And it can be very hard as GPs with all of the other things that we need to do to also be on top of what health apps to be referring our patients to. So most of them in those 300,000 that I mentioned are really focused on health and lifestyle. So they're ones that are around exercise, nutrition, telling people how to modify their activity levels, or giving people sort of more information based. Then there are other ones that get into more sort of the realms of maybe a bit diagnostic or therapeutic. If those are truly diagnostic and therapeutic apps, then we need to be mindful that they probably come under the TGA and need to be actually registered as medical devices on the ARTG, and then they need to go through that process. So I would be very careful about suggesting an app to a patient that was considered a medical device if I didn't see it on the ARTG. So there's another resource that you can go and check, and if on the register that app isn't on there, then I wouldn't be prescribing it to a patient. There are other health apps out there also for medical records. So for example, the My Health Record, there are a few apps that give you a mobile version of the My Health Record. There are apps that support remote patient monitoring as well. And there's a few other categories, but those are sort of the broad categories I think that as GPs we need to be aware of. I'd say in the consultation, happy for you to pull out the app and show me what information you have on there, and I'll see how we might be able to add it to the information we're collecting generally about your history and from your physical examination. But I think it does have value, but I think you also need to be careful around the actual validity of the app. Is it one that's trusted, that is evidence-based? If it's telling a patient that they're constantly hypertensive because they've been measuring their blood pressure, what is it measuring it against? How has it been calibrated? What is it defining as hypertension? I think we need to be very careful in taking any of that information and actually acting upon it unless we've got really good confidence in where that app's come from and the content in that app. We have a fact sheet available in our resource section, and this sort of goes through some of the things that you might want to look at in an app to assess whether it's something you want to recommend to your patient or not. And this is, in regards to, the patient's literacy in using digital health products, the usability of the app, how engaging, whether it has behavioural construct sort of changes built into it. So there's lots of different things that you might want to assess in recommending an app, and also looking at other user reviews either on the App Store or from other areas where users have commented. And there are various universities and other bodies that have done some research around apps that they would recommend. So I think certainly it's worth looking at some of those resources and getting sort of your top hit list of these are my top 5 mental health apps. I already have this. I have my top mindfulness apps. I have my top sort of behavioural changes for things like smoking cessation or alcohol. And so you can create your own little list of things that you have confidence in prescribing to your patients. So I think we need to be conscious of it and that our patients are using it, but I think we also need to be careful of some of the pitfalls and some of the safety risks that might come around from every developer out there just deciding they want to build a health app. We as healthcare practitioners still need to be a bit of a gateway to ensuring that we don't put our patients at risk. But I think it's definitely something that's very exciting and something we should be watching and embracing.